Howdy friends, I'm going to do a review tonight on a 2016 movie you might have missed. A little film called Swiss Army Man, and I posted a behind the scenes clip earlier. And this is a terrific little movie, so you might have to look for it on streaming. You should be able to find it without too much trouble. You may have to fork out a few extra bucks because that's how these streaming services work. They hook you in with their fee and then you got to pay extra. I don't like that. That's why I just stick with Blu-ray movies. I know what I'm paying for, what I get. And it looks and sounds terrific. Directed and written by Daniel Kwan and Daniel Scheinert, the Daniels they call themselves. And it stars, oddly enough, Paul Dano and Daniel Radcliffe. You've heard of him, Harry Potter. It's really a wonderful movie. It only cost $3 million to make. I say only, but $3 million in 2016, that's not really a huge budget considering the top 10 budget movies all time range in the $225 to $325 million just to make the movie. These are big blockbuster, Avengers movies, Pirates of the Caribbean movies, some DC movies and whatnot. But this is really a fun movie. And let me just tell you a little bit about it and why I think you would enjoy it. It takes place starting on a desert island. A young man there has been stranded for a while. He's about to hang himself. He's very desperate and depressed. And suddenly a corpse washes up on the shore. And this is played by Daniel Radcliffe as Manny. And the fellow Paul Dano is about to hang himself, Hank. He stops, the rope, I don't want to give away too many spoilers, but this is the very first scene in the movie, so I'm not telling you a whole lot. But the corpse washes up and he comes over and suddenly this corpse seems like there's something going on with it and it's passing gas pretty bad. And so it takes off from there. And I don't want to divulge too much of the plot. There is a plot, there's a storyline that is engaging. It's surreal, absurdist at times. There are some fart jokes, but the movie goes way beyond the fart joke in the beginning. That just gets the thing started, literally. And then we go into a whole another world of excitement and just ridiculous things happening, but it's sort of a fairy tale world. And I thought what was going on was this was a dream. The fellow was about to hang himself. Suddenly his life went before his eyes and he had this dream vision, and that's what the movie was. And it had me going for a while thinking that's what it was. Turns out I was wrong. However, there is a bit of reality that comes later in the film, but mostly the film engages us in this fantasy world that's ludicrous. I mean, there are all kinds of absurd things happening that really were hilarious, really made me laugh out loud a number of times. Woven into that story are some serious ideas and messages, and some that had me a little emotional, I have to admit. I mean, they really were touching. Some of the concepts about our lives, how we live our lives, what's important in our lives, our relationships. Are we always honest in our relationships? What's the most important thing when we approach someone new, when we want to shed our skin, as it were, and really expose ourselves and be vulnerable? That's a big risk for a lot of people nowadays, and it always has been. And yet that is how we develop intimacy with people, is when we let down our guard and take off the mask of, literally the mask of who we are, not literally, but figuratively, the mask of who we are. And, show who we really are, our inner self, show our heart. And so I was touched by the movie. It's a buddy movie in a way, and they're not gay. And in most films like this, when you see a lot of male bonding and closeness, many times they're gay movies, but this one's not. And yet there are some jokes along those lines that you might construe either way. I don't know. Whatever you feel you'll take away from it, you will. But I think it's a movie to check out, not to miss. It made $6 million at the box office. There are some wonderful special features on the DVD. You probably won't get that on streaming. That's why it's good to get the DVD, the Blu-ray in this case. The sound is fabulous. Sound editing is first rate. And it won the directing award at the Sundance Film Festival. So I'm strongly recommending sometime, if you've got nothing better to do, and the plethora of really awful Hollywood movies they bombard you with all the time, check out Swiss Army Man. It's a real treat. I think you won't be disappointed. You'll be pleased to see some fine acting and some stunts that would kind of blow your mind. And I don't know that there was a lot of heavy CGI effects added in this movie, but there are a lot of cool special effects that were done in more of an old school style way, so to speak. And I thought it was a very, very impressive movie overall. So Swiss Army Man gets a thumbs up.